Well, I'm sitting with an author right now, so I have a feeling my jingle's going to be pretty good. Hey, Trish Barbato?
Awesome. I'll help you out. Absolutely.
Promise?
I promise.
Okay, good stuff. Well, listen, I'm new into the song composing world, and that's kind of your area of expertise, isn't it? Your book, Inspire Your Career, is all about getting people prepped for kind of the first few years at a new job.
Yeah, absolutely. I started mentoring young people, and I realized there was a big gap between what they learned in school, which is, of course, fantastic, but very academic. And then they would get to work and be sitting in their cubicle on their first day. They don't know anyone, their computer maybe doesn't work, and they have no idea what to do. And that's where the book starts, is how do you get to know people, how do you work in a team, how do you get along with your boss, how do you deal with conflict, how do you find mentors, those kinds of topics.
And you know, it can be an interesting dynamic too, because I think a lot of times you have kind of intergenerational interaction, in the sense that your boss might be a baby boomer or Generation X,
right.
You might be Generation Y. I mean, what have you found in putting this book together about how those different generations, are they congruous?
Well, absolutely. I think there's lots of issues around all of them, and we hear about it all the time. For example, the Gen Ys, we hear about their lack of work ethic, or the baby boomers complaining about that, for example. So you're right. I think that for the most part in workplaces, we do have a lot of baby boomers who are sort of in charge and are the bosses, and I'll put myself in that position. And then you have these young folks that are coming in, and they have different ideas. Absolutely. They're accustomed to using technology, but I think it's beyond technology. I would say it's also risk-taking and speed, because they're really eager to just jump in and get things done. It's how they work, it's how they think, it's how they operate. And I think that the baby boomers are a little more cautious and like a little bit more process, and this of course drives the Gen Ys crazy.
Well, I mean, the youngest generation is the group that sees billionaire founders of Facebook and founders of YouTube and founders of Google that have made it before 30. What's your advice to parents out there that are going to be talking to their younger kids, the Generation Y workforce? I mean, what do parents need to get across, or what do the Generation Ys need to know?
Well, I think absolutely there is some level of being realistic in the workplace and what can be accomplished. And I think it's about respect, really. It's about respect for both sides and what each can bring to the table. But I think if a Gen Y wants to be CEO, I would say, great. Let's figure out a pathway for you to get there. Let's help you achieve that. Let's mentor these young people. Let's coach them. Let's help them become the best that they can be. I joke about they will be taking care of us, because they're going to be running the hospitals and long-term care facilities and retirement homes. So if we're not nice to them, guess what? So, you know, let's help them out.
Yeah,
let's help
I think
them
you're
do
right
the best
on
they
that.
can do.
We're running out of time. We've got about 30 seconds left. This is all in the book, and we're going to have a few copies available for giveaway in just a minute. But let's swing to the other side of the spectrum. A piece of advice for those that are maybe re-entering the workforce after some time away, or maybe thinking about walking away from the job and pursuing the dream job. Right.
I think about your passions, think about your strengths, think about what you have to offer, and don't be afraid to put it out there. Don't be confident in yourself as you go out. Talk to lots of people and persevere. I think that you know, it's a time where you really need to be open-minded about what opportunities might be out there for you, and thinking about how you can fit your skills to the job as opposed to just looking for that narrow job.
I think it's a great piece of advice. Trish Barbato, thank you so much for joining us. There's
My pleasure.
So much more we could talk about, and luckily 4 of you are going to have a chance to read all of Trish's tips for free right now. Callers 2, 4, 6, and 8 are going to get an autographed copy of Inspire Your Career. Just give a shout to 780-412-2790. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, you can find more on what Trish does on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Just click on Inside BT. We're right